Yo. Everybody doing this morning? What's today? Today is Tuesday, July 22nd. How everybody doing today? I hope everybody doing good, But this is I might joke around, from time to time. But, this is more of a serious video right here, right? And I'm going to start off by saying, check on your loved ones, man. If you care about a motherfucker, check on them, right? Some people don't be needing shit. They don't need money. They don't need fucking, material shit. What they need is love, right? They want a motherfucker to be there for them, when you go through hard times and hardships, right? That's the only thing I was, from the moment my son died, from that day, that's the only thing I ever asked for, right? Motherfuckers call, check up on me, bro, you good? I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all, right? When I would grieve, grieving over my son, like when his mom would, when she grieving and crying, I walk up to her, I comfort her, hug her, it's gonna be okay. I'm telling her comforting words, right? When I grieve, that's just what it is. It's me grieving, right? I ain't got nobody coming up to me telling me it's gonna be okay, right? And I had that issue with his mama, like, damn, I've been there for you all this time. It feel good for a motherfucker to be there for me. And her answer was, oh, I'm so used to you being there for me, and I don't know how, everybody was raised different, but common sense, man, ain't so common. Like, it ain't hard to be there for somebody, especially genuinely love. Like, we both lost our child, but how is your loss greater than mine? Like, we both was in the house when that shit happened. We both watched our son take his last breath in front of us, And that's why I say, man, check on your loved ones, man. You never know what somebody going through. I just got through watching this story. This guy, his son, his son was about four or five, maybe a little bit older. He died from cancer, but it affected the dad. Well, a few days ago, the dad went to the son's grave site, and he killed himself. Now, the reason why that story resonated with me, because I get it, I understand, right? When you lose a child and a parent is child, parent, spouse. Those are the three worst people that you could lose, right? And my son was 13. God gave us him for 13 years, right? God made it where, God said, you know what? I'm finna make it where you can't be mad at nobody but me, right? My son passed from an asthma attack. Who could I be mad at? But it's just like, they say we ain't supposed to question, God. We ain't supposed to question our Father. And I always compare it to, okay, well, when you was a child and your parents put you on punishment, your parents took something away from you, you wouldn't be upset with your parents? Yeah. So it's the same thing. Like, you upset with your parents, but you still love them. Same thing with the Lord Jesus above, right? Yeah, I'm mad that he took my child away, I don't question him, but I question him. Like, why? Like, you could have took my life, but, why my son, right? And it's not more of an answer asking a question. It's like, damn, why? I don't question God at all, right? I pray every day, Sometimes, and then, like I said, this month on the 28th, I'll be at 4 months of sobriety, right? So imagine dealing with all of this shit without drugs, right? It's like you left fighting this shit head on. Usually I'll be able to use drugs, right? To minimize the feeling, the thoughts. I can't use that no more. I can't use that, right? I'm no longer taking that route. So now, like I said, I tell people all the time, I'm a new person. I'm a whole totally new person, right? Because now I have to learn how to deal with certain things without drugs. I'm a strong person. I be there for a lot of people. Motherfucker call me, I pick up, they can vent to me, tell me, they give me they ask for advice, you know, and a lot of people, you know, it ain't just one person. A lot of people call me, you know, with, I ain't gonna say they problems, but, you know, they call me to vent, you know, and I be there for people. But, you know, it feel good for a motherfucker to be there for you one time at least, right? Because I go through shit, but I'm the one that holds shit together. So it'll always be the person that holds shit together that don't get the love, right? Like, I'm too busy making sure, you know, making sure I'm doing this and doing that. You know, I'm trying to get my life back on track, right? Like, I used drugs for 10 plus years. This the longest I've been sober, right? And it's like, you know, everybody needs somebody to at least talk to, you know, to at least reach out. When my son died, when nobody calling, "Are you okay?" You know, and I'm not saying that they should, but they should, right? Because if you fuck with me and you fuck with, because, you know, that was your, you know, my son is, you know, your nephew, your grandchild, your cousin, whatever. So I take it as like, damn, motherfucker don't give a fuck about how I feel. Then that's saying they don't care about my child, my son, right? It's just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. And you know, people battle suicide issues, right? In the worst, in the toughest times, right? Sometimes I had these thoughts, right, where I think about like that night in my son room plays a vivid part in a lot of this, right? Because I could be having a perfect day, right? And then I start thinking about that night. Everything plays in my head like it happened yesterday. And then I start to feel so bad, so sad. I start to feel sad for my son. You know, even though I know he's at peace right now, I know he's resting, right? From the moment my son died, that day up until now, it's been a red bird that follows us, cardinal, whatever. It always follows us, right? We go outside, that motherfucker right there. We walk to the store, it's right there, it follows us. Somebody had been asking me, like, bro, you heard of Chat GPT? I'm like, yeah, I heard of it, but I ain't, you know, like, bro, you need to get that. You need to get that. Oh, for what? Like, man, you know, I asked it, you know, I was having some dreams, and it told me what my dreams was about. You know, it told me. So, okay, thinking to myself, I'll check it out. Not thinking nothing of it, but I'm like, I'm going to check it out, right? I type in, what, well, first I type in to Chat GPT, like, well, my son, I said, my son passed away. It'll be 3 years next month. He was 13. He had an asthma attack in his room, right? And I said, it's this red bird that's been following us. That's been around for years, right? This bird, I'm talking about for years. For years, right? So something told me to type in that red bird, right? I ain't gonna type it in now, but when I typed it in, basically it said that a red bird, the cardinal, is associated with death. And they said that if you see a red bird, it usually means that either the person that passed is trying to communicate and tell you that they at peace and that they resting. The red bird is a sign that the person has transitioned to heaven. It's all good signs, all good things. And this thing is telling me this. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, it's giving me explanation on why I've been seeing this red bird since my son passed, right? I didn't know. Remember I told you I made this. I didn't know why I made it red, right? Now it makes sense, this red cardinal, right? Next month will be 3 years, right? My grandma died August 20th. My son died August 24th. And the day before my grandma died, we had just came from seeing her at my mom's house. My grandma died. I get a call, my grandma died. 4 days later, my son died. So I couldn't even grieve my grandma properly. Couldn't even grieve my grandma. This is my grandma. This is my It's my baby. This is my heart. This is my mom's mom. Couldn't grieve her right than my son, right? I look at how bad shit could have been, right? Never struggled with sending my son home the proper way, right? I believe in cremation, right? I don't like the ideal of someone being buried in a cold cemetery, right? And you coming to visit them and leaving without them. I don't like that whole idea, right? So I believe in cremation because cremation, you know, it's about the spirit. Our bodies is like a car, right? It's like a car. We just using this motherfucker. The engine, the battery is what get this bitch moving, right? So the spirit is no longer attached to the body, right? Once somebody passed. So I'm like, you know, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. But I believe in cremation. So, you know, my son is in the living room. This the house that he passed in right here. He passed in the next room. That's his room. I know my son is at peace right now. I can walk out of here and go in the living room and just chill and feel his spirit, right? We got him cremated. It's in the living room. Don't be touched with. So he's a part of so much shit in this house, right? We don't have to go to a cemetery to go visit him or no shit like that. And I don't knock nobody that do it that way, right? I don't. Like, something happened to me, hey, don't bury me in no motherfucking cemetery, no cold cemetery and leave me. I want to go with y'all. I want to leave with y'all and go party. So leave me in that bitch. I mean, like, I want to go with y'all. And, like, I'm going to get some lockets, right? I'm going to surprise my baby mama and my son, but I'm going to get some heart-shaped lockets, and I'm going to put a little bit of his ashes in there. Like, wear it with him and carry it with him. But it's so much shit that I deal with, right, because of my son. And then I'm no longer using drugs right now. So I don't have no escape route. So when I feel like this, I have to deal with my problems on my own. Ain't got nobody I could talk to. So I have to tell myself certain things. Oh, don't relapse. It ain't worth it. Don't go back to the drugs. You done got too far. You get what I'm saying? 4 months, that's the longest I've been clean. The longest. Never been clean that long. I never made it past a couple days. And to be at 4 months on the 28th, like that's an accomplishment, right? But I'm like, I feel like I'm at the edge, right? Like I feel like I'm at the edge. And it's like I'm finna fall off. I can grab a lifeline. Lifeline is drugs on this way, and then this way is something. But you know, I'm just not trying to fall. I'm not. Hell no. If I relapse, I fail. I've accomplished too much. And then people be saying, well, you know, if you relapse, don't beat yourself up. You know, just keep going. Hell no, I'm not relapsing. I done came too motherfucking far. I done came too motherfucking far, man. I'm not motherfucking. I ain't relapsing. The fuck? Not me. Not this kid here. Shit. But, you know, I try to help other people that's going through, you know, addiction. Man, I just be feeling like it's more I can do, right? You know, I preach. I talk about grief. I talk about sobriety, you know, entertainment shit, jokes, ha, you know. But, you know, mainly I represent sobriety and grief, right? This is sobriety. This is, I was using drugs. I was getting high for 10 plus years. Lost my son. You know, and I was using drugs before my son passed. When my son passed, it just got worse. Now, it was a death that happened that made me start using and shit. You know, I got survivor's guilt with that. You know, one of my closest friends, I dropped him off and he got killed 15 minutes later. So I deal with a lot of shit, man. And I just hope that day don't come where I feel like I'm weak and I can't take it no more and I kill myself. Which no, I don't believe in that. You can't ask for forgiveness to God if you kill yourself. But it ain't no but. I understand because some people not this strong, right? Some people ain't this strong. You know, just like the guy I started off talking about. You know, his son died from cancer. he been in his son's life all, you know, his whole life. It's been eating him up. He went to his son's gravesite on the death day and killed himself. And I just kept thinking about myself and my son, because the situations is like, it's different, but it's the same, right? Like, they both died from natural causes, his son and my son, right? But it's eating us up. Like, we talk about a child here, man. We talking about a child that didn't get a chance to live. But then I look at it like my son, you know, I'm glad my son will never get to experience heartbreak or backstabbing, right? But there's certain things my son should be able to be here to go through. Love, true friendship, happiness, right? And I know he had some of those feelings, right? My son, he was 13, and I was in his life, his whole life. I cut his umbilical cord. I named him. And I remember I did some time in jail. So he was born, my son was born in 2009. And I remember going to jail, right? I remember going to jail after he was born. And I did a little bit of time, like 18 months. When I got out, and I remember hopping in the car with his mama, and he was in the back seat, right? Now, mind you, this is my first time seeing him, and I look at him, and he look at me. And I'm like, and what's crazy, right? I'm like, you know who I am? And he like, yeah. And I'm like, who? He like, my daddy. And I remember at that moment, everything paused for me. Everything paused for me because it let me know, hey, shit is real now. This little boy is depending on you. He counting on you to show him the way of life, right? And I remember sitting there in the seat just like, damn, this shit real. Like, ain't no running away. You know, this is my, you know, he would have, so if Rihanna is my first child, Kyreelle would have been is my second. Rihanna 18 finna be 19 in September. Kyreelle, if he was alive, he'll be 16. So he was my first one. So I'm like, damn, like, but this is my first boy too at the time. I'm like, damn, like, this shit real. Like, damn, he said I'm his daddy. Like, and, you know, I've been in his life ever since, man. Y'all done seen the pictures. Y'all done, like, man. So this Avion, this picture was taken 2 weeks before he passed in Minnesota. So Avion right here, he was 7 at the time that Kyreelle passed. That's Kai. Kai was 13. He's 16 now. Avion is 10 now. But y'all, you know, y'all go on my page and y'all, you know, y'all see, you know, I might joke and shit, you know, some days, and some days it get real where I talk about my son and shit. You get what I'm saying? Or I might be like, damn, I might be having a bad day. Every day ain't no good day. You know, some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be bad when you lost a child, right? When you grieving over a loved one. Shit will be bad. But I'm going to tell you, it will also get good too. It will also get good because some days are better than others. Some days are better than others, right? Most days, right? Most days. I mean, for the most part, good days, right? But every so often, I had this bad shit, right? Where, not bad shit, but like depression for my son, I guess. Missing my son, I guess. So yeah, man, I just gotta stay strong, man, and, you know, overcome this little shit, man. You know, my son is in a better place. I just wish he was here to see this version of me, right? People be saying, oh, he know. Yeah, but he ain't, you know, my son, man, Kyreelle used to, you know, he was my road dog. Me and Avion wasn't like that because Avion was only 7. Kyreelle was 13. So me and Kyreelle would, you know, when everybody sleep at night, me and Kyreelle would walk around outside and just talk. Even when we lived in Phoenix, Arizona. Everybody sleep, nigga, we'd go outside and walk and talk for hours, man. We just talking, both of us. when I would be so messed up off the drugs, and it would be me, and I'd be watching my boys while their moms at work. I would get to throwing up. I'm yelling, kyreelle, kyreelle. Hey, I was 7, so he couldn't help. I wasn't about to have no 7-year-old do no shit. But kyreelle, 13 ain't valid enough either. But, you know, kyreelle coming with the garbage. He bringing me a water. He checking on me. Dad, you okay? Oh, like, me and kyreelle was like this, man. You know, I went to Black Ink and got him tatted. I went to Black Ink a couple days. I mean, no, this was a couple weeks after he passed. It say in loving memory, kyreelle. But I never knew what heartbreak was, or I never knew what real hurt was until my son passed. Never. Like, and it was crazy. I cry. Y'all probably don't know. Man, when it come to my son, I be crying, especially this new person that I am. Without the drugs, I don't know if I'm more sensitive or what, you know. Or, you know, man, I'm just hurt. I'm hurt, man. You lose your son, you lose a child, period, man. That shit is not easy. It's gonna be a tough road. It's gonna be a tough road. And, you know, I hope that one day I can start a grief class, you know, whether it's remote or in person or off-site or online. I want to start a grieving process, you know, a grieving group, right? So you know how to deal with grief and you know how to handle grief, right? And even I'm talking about helping someone else, right? A friend. If they end up losing a loved one, you could tell, you know what to do as a friend, right? Like, you know, and like I said, yeah, you know, give people their space, you know, but at the same time, check on the motherfucker. You know, if you know a motherfucker vulnerable, even if they just lost somebody important, man. Call and check on the motherfucker. Hey, you good? Oh, I'm just calling to check on you. Pull up on the motherfucker. Go see him. You know, crack a few jokes. Make them laugh. Make the person laugh, because I'm going to tell you, hey, when you lose somebody, nothing funny, man. Listen, at least for 2 of those years, next month it'll be 3 years my son been gone. At least 2 of them years I laid in bed. I wouldn't even get out the bed to eat. I will wait for hours laying in bed to go use the bathroom. Never peed on myself or peed in the bed, but I'm saying I wait till the last minute to go pee. Like, that's how depressed I was. Wasn't leaving the house, wasn't leaving the room. I wasn't going grocery shopping because I couldn't see. Like, if I see kids or families together, I would get very emotional or get depressed, like, because we did everything together. We had even in cars, we had a seat assigned. I'm the driver, mom's passenger, kyreelle sat behind her, and Avion sat behind me. Like, we done been on so many vacations, man. I'm going to tell you now, I didn't go out of town until I was grown. My mama never took us out of town. And that played a part in me taking my kids to so many places, right? My boys, kyreelle and Avion, them two, listen, they done been to Phoenix. Well, we lived in Phoenix for about 4 years. They done been to Phoenix, fucking Atlanta. And I'm talking, all the places I'm finna name, they done been there, we done been there more than twice. I mean, Phoenix don't count, but Atlanta, St. Louis, fucking Chicago, Gary, fucking New Mexico, man, we've been to a bunch of places. Minnesota. We done been to a lot of places, right? And they can say that being kids. I couldn't say that at that age. If a motherfucker asked me when I was 15, where all have you been? I would be like, what? Like, what you mean where I've been? Like, what street? I wouldn't even know because I hadn't been out of town. My mama, she never took us. I don't, you know, and yeah, my mama had 4 kids, right? Taking 4 people out of town cost. That shit cost. And anybody that know me, yeah, it ain't about material shit, but my boys, if one person got the Georgia that just came out, everybody got them bitches, nigga. If I got on Robbins, they got on Robins. I got pictures of my boys in Robins. Like, motherfucker, that's one thing. That's one thing I'm gonna do. Oh, we gonna dress. We gonna dress to motherfucking impress. You best believe that. You know, my boys know about shit like this. You get what I'm saying? Shit like this. Dolce and Gabbana. You get what I'm saying? Gucci deodorant. You know, shit my boys know about, you know. And I didn't know that shit at that age. Look, this deodorant. Yeah, Gucci deodorant. Like I taught my kids not only the good side, but the bad side. You know, I used to tell Kyreelle all the time, like, you can't just accept the good, right? This upscale life, and then when shit go bad or fall off, you depressed and shit. Like, no, you know, shit, everything don't last forever, right? You know, shit might be bad, you know, a year down the line where we can't go out of town, where we can't buy, or where all of us can't get Jordans that come out, the Jordans that come out, right? It ain't gonna last long. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna last a short time, but you have to be able to accept that shit just like you accept the good. You know, when a motherfucker say, yeah, get dressed, we finna go to the mall and go shopping, or we finna go out of town. You know, I teach my son that, well, I used to teach, you know what, I'm gonna say I teach my boys because I'm still teaching Avion. You get what I'm saying? But teach my boys about the street life, females, fake people. I tell them about friends, girlfriends. Man, I'm an active father. I was in kyreelle life 13 years. 13 years. So when I tell you that, when you hear me speak about my son, or you hear me speak about the state that I'm in, right? Or if I tell you I'm depressed, know where it comes from, right? Know where, you know, where this stems from. I'm not one of them people, you know, I know them type people that get on there and for attention and nothing wrong with them, or they got control over their own situation so they can stop their stress, right? Whether, no matter what the case is, they can stop their stress, right? Mine comes from a place of genuine hurt, like, and I'm so scared to move out of this house because I feel like if I move, I feel like my son, like, so by me being in this house, right, this is where everything happened at. Anywhere I go in this house, I be like, okay, I remember my son being right here. I remember him sitting right here. I remember my son running in the room, dad, right? If I move, I ain't gonna be able to say that. I can't say, oh, I remember kyreelle being here, or I remember him sitting down right there, right? Yeah, it's about the memory, but I'm here now. I'm in this bitch now where it happened now. I don't have bad dreams. I don't have, you know, motherfuckers don't have a bad, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I know our son watching over us, right? All of us, everybody sleep good at night. It's just, we hurt from losing kyreelle. I think I handle it, well, everybody said I took it the hardest, right? And I still take it the hardest, right? I don't know, like I said, I think it's because like I didn't grow up in church, so I don't have that understanding about death all the way, like his mom do. She grew up going to church twice a week, sometimes 3. So, you know, I mean, I understand. I be hurt. And, you know, it's stages of grief, right? Let me see. Let me see what they. Oh, hold on. Nope, not that one. I'm trying to see. Okay, let me see. Okay. Let's see. What are the 5... No, what are the stages of grief? What are the stages of grief? So listen to this. The most widely known model of grief is the 5 stages of grief, introduced by psychiatrist Elizabeth Ross. These stages are these stages aren't always experienced in a specific order, and people may revisit some stages multiple times. Everyone grieves differently, but here's the basic framework. 1. Denial. This can't be happening. Hold on. Okay. Okay, number 1. This can't be happening. Denial helps us cope with the shock. It's the mind's way of letting in only as much as we can handle at that moment. That was a good one. The second, number 2, anger. Why did this happen? It's not fair. Anger is a natural response to feel helpless or abandoned. It can be directed at ourselves, others, or even the person who passed. 3. Bargaining. If only I had done something differently. We replay situations in our minds, wishing we could go back and change the outcome. It's often filled with guilt and what ifs. 4. Depression. I miss them so much. What's the point? The deep sadness sets in as reality fully hits. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a necessary part of healing. Number 5 is acceptance. They're gone and I'm learning to live with it. Acceptance doesn't mean you're over it. It means you're finding a way to live again, even while carrying the loss with you. Some newer grief models add more stages like shock, testing, reconstruction, or meaning making. But these 5 are the foundation most people recognize. If you're going through grief and want help expressing where you are in the process or need words for a post or journal, I can help. But yeah, so those are the 5 stages, right? I don't pay attention to that. You know, grief is grief. It is. It is. So I'm probably at the depression. But it was crazy. Like you go through those stages multiple times, different times. You see, like you don't stay in one for one time. you could revisit multiple ones. But it's a process. I'll get over it. That's why I use this content, this venting, making these videos. I hope that it helps somebody. I hope somebody comment and give me encouraging words or something, or tell me something I can learn. I got the event in August for my son for his the 3-year anniversary and shit. Rocks and Remembrance. Well, let me see. I can do something better. So the event is for my son, Sunday, August 24th, 2025, from 4 p.m. to 8. It's called Waves and Rocks of Remembrance, a gathering of love and memory. But, so it says, please join us for the first annual heartfelt community gathering in honor of my son Kyreelle, who passed away on this day 3 years ago to the day. At the age of 13 from an asthma attack, this event is open to anyone who has experienced the loss of a loved one and would like to come together in remembrance and reflection. When? August 24th, 2025, 4 p.m. Where? Bradford Beach, the lakefront. What? Lemonade, light snacks, and shared memories. Together we will honor those we've lost by writing their names and a special message on a rock. We will be providing the rocks, our own personal rocks. At the end of this event, we will release our rocks into Lake Michigan, a symbolic gesture of love, release, and remembrance. This is a peaceful space for healing, connection, and community. Whether your loss is recent or from years past, you are welcome here. Bring a friend, bring your heart, and let's lift each other up. So that is the event. That's next month. So, you know, I'll be trying to do shit to remember him and shit, you know. But it's, you know, everything gonna work out, you know. Everything gonna work out, man. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, let y'all go, man. Let y'all go and get y'all day started, you know. Hey, look, check on your loved one. Today, everybody, if you end up watching this video, put a heart. Put a heart for my son in the comments. If you end up watching this, and call and check on at least one person. That's it. Just call and check on them. How you doing? You good? Okay. One person. Just do that for me. Peace.